This is my little Austrian lathe. In one video, I think I said it was a German lathe. I guess the Austrians are probably still mad at me about that, but it's a little compact lathe. And it's an old, I don't know when they were made, but the parts aren't super common. There were two styles, one with English threads and one with metric. I was looking for a steady rest for this, and I haven't come across one yet. And when you do find one, they're pretty expensive. And I'm not sure how much I'll use it if I want to spend the money. So, looking at, I have a 618 lathe, which is Craftsman or Atlas, and I have a steady rest for it. Well, let's see what happens here. It would probably hold material the size that I would be using. And I can't imagine using anything larger than that with the stuff I piddle with. But obviously we have a problem here with this distance. If this is held in the right position, it looks like the bolt will miss. Let me tighten. If I tighten this, it won't rotate. Yeah, so if this is like it would be in the position you're going to operate it, this bolt will not interfere with the lathe body. So it'd be possible to build or make a block to fit in here. And then I could use this 618 lathe steady rest on my 8x20. It's really not a complex thing. The only thing that guides is this edge here, which is basically a truncated triangle. If you look at, I don't know if you can see it. Nah. Just hung up the steady rest. Okay, let's take that thing off, get this out. This is basically a 90-degree with the point cut off, so it's like a truncated cone. So it would be just to mill out a groove, a 90-degree groove, and you just have the block lock into this, and then the steady rest lock into the block. Well, it's nice to have lights that turn on when you move. So going back to the little thing I just took apart, take this off. All right. So basically, the project will be getting a block to fit on here and cut a groove in it. And it would look something like this. The reason there's two holes in this is because it was part of another project at one time. And that project died, and I wasn't going to throw away the metal. So you can see I cut. First thing it is, I cut this down to where I thought it was going to be the right distance, and then I cut a groove where the point would be. Once I had that done, cut the groove in the milling machine, then stood it up in the milling machine and took a cutter and cut the groove. Now to find out exactly where I was before I cut this part out, I just laid a torpedo level across here and a torpedo level across here, and when the bubbles looked the same on both, I knew my groove was deep enough. Because it's hard to tell, you know, if that's right or that's right or that's right. But But I wanted this basically level with this part of the mill. Then after that, it was sort of simple. Once you have the block on here, all you have to do, take your caliper, when this is level and this is level, take your caliper and find out where that slot is supposed to be. Once you found that, come back with this, mark it, and start cutting the slot. Once I got very close to where I thought the slot was right, then I would mill so far and bring the steady rest over until the steady rest fit in there. I took a bolt. This is a lot longer than was the 618 bolt, and I guess you call it a stovepipe bolt. I cut off the edges so it would lock into the bottom of this thing. Like I said, it's always fun to do this one-handed. So that way when it's in there, it will not turn. And that's, that's the key. So this can come up from the bottom. So I was able to use the same nut, the same piece from down below that squeezes the block. And now, if I tighten it down a little bit, very solid. So basically all I need to do is make this little standoff block and get a bolt. So now I have a steady rest that is not compromised, so I can still use this rest on my 618 lathe. So always look at what you need, not necessarily what it was made for. So it's a short project, just milling, and once again, once you have the groove cut for this, the hole is dead center, so it's just marking off to get the hole to feed the bolt through. But it's a relatively simple little project, but it gives you something. The 6/8, these steady rests are often on eBay and stuff. You can find them. I did find the follower rest for the compact. It goes down here. Maybe that was more available because less people want them. Don't know. Well, I hope that was informative and might give you an idea of something you might want to do for your lathe. Most of them are adaptable. They're all pretty simple. And the precision of this block, you can make it as precise as you want. Since you're always adjusting these bars to get things in the right position, this is not super critical. I tried to make it level as I could. If I was off a little bit, I think I can take that out up here without being a real big problem. And that's all for now.